This is Jonathan Agger, your fifth pro boxing fan, joined by Gareth A Davies, who is on his way to Miami this week to cover the BKB. Gareth, yeah, busy week of combat sport, isn't it?
It's an extraordinarily busy week, Jonathan Agioff, for combat sports. BKB, as you say, BKB 50, three world title fights in Miami, Madison Square Garden on Saturday night. The big one, really, a massive event in boxing, the big one in boxing, probably in their prime, one of the biggest matchups we could have right now in boxing, if not the biggest. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Very tough fight for Josh Kelly against Murtaz Aliyev for the light middleweight title of the world up in Newcastle. Fran Hennessy fighting main event now because Lemos against Adam Azim is off because of hand injuries. Wow! Zuffa having his first card last week. Jai Opetaia signed. Bam Rodriguez staying with Matchroom and not signing with Zuffa Boxing. It's all happening. It is all happening. And I hear that you against Amon Khan is a potential misfits fight of the future.
Who wins? Who wins?
Well, the biggest misfit of all, you.
Well, we did spar in Germany, and
And what happened? Come on, talk us
well,
through it.
it was a
Bell rang, what happened?
bit of a one-sided beatdown in his favour, but
Oh, oh
he
really?
he caught me off guard, short notice. One of them, I think.
Was it on the cobbles or not?
No, it was in a random gym. So
But
maybe I would have been better in the cobbles.
have you? I think you win on the cobbles all day long. I think you batter him. I think you get him down on the floor and you just don't let him up again. You know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll see that one day.
You're more. I'd see you more as a jiu-jitsu stroke grappler than as
Nah,
a striker.
nah, just a misfit, as you say. Gareth, let's start with the boxing people really care about. Zuffa. So I saw your interview with Jaya Pataya. If people haven't watched it, go on Gareth A Davis on YouTube and you'll see Jaya Pataya. He's got a lot of charisma. He's very serious, but I think people will enjoy. He's just a straight killer, isn't he? He's a bad man. What did you make first of all of him signing with them and the card on Saturday,
Well,
Friday?
I think Jai's very authentic, isn't he?
Mhm.
I think that's the thing about him, and I think he embraces the media really well. We all have good relationships with him. You know, like you say, he's a killer. He's a bit of a lunatic, but he's a bad man being good, basically. And I think we all enjoy that goodness in him and the skills he's got. And his journey's going to be amazing. Obviously, him being signed, Jai being signed by Zuffa Boxing shifted their paradigm and showed us what I think we all knew in the back. Well, I certainly did in the background that they weren't going to sit around and build fighters for 5 to 7 years. They were going to make major signings and create major events every month or two, which is what they will do. Zuffa Boxing last Friday night stayed up for it. It was a soft launch for them. It was a glorified small hall show. Dana White was very good, I thought, answered all the questions really well, and also was honest about that they're going to need to make improvements. It was okay, but it was like a next gen show in a small hall setting. But we know that they're going to get better. We know they know what they're doing. We know that they'll get the best advice. And as we can see, maybe Andy Ruiz, maybe Usyk, maybe definitely Jaya Pataya, people like Bam Rodriguez, they're going to get people who are coming out of contract and they're going to sign them for big events.
Where do you think, the likes of Eddie Hearn stands with this? Because, he's obviously confirmed that he's matched their offer. He had matching rights with BAM and he's matched the offer. But do you believe Zuffa will be overpaying fighters to join them, or do you think because if they are, is Eddie just going to make business decisions and say, well, I'm not going to overpay as he admitted he did when he first came into America with design?
Well, it's not just Eddie, it's everyone. It's the four sanctioning bodies outside Ring Magazine and TKO, the TKO belt. It's all the other promoters and all the other broadcasters. We're going through a shift in time where streaming services are the key to it all, even though we hear that Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder may be on a pay-per-view event on Sky, more of later. I think the concern is that Zuffa or Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh, who've got very deep pockets, may be able to sign all the big names. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see Terence Crawford against David Benavidez later in the year if Benavidez beats Zurdo Ramirez. It just wouldn't surprise me, but to see it at just under light heavyweight in terms of weight, because they will sign big names and create a lot of noise. The ego, the timing, and the money is right for Turkey and Dana, for Turkey and the Saudi Arabians to make a big splash in America, and for Dana to finally make a big splash with his boxing output. And they've got the platform, they've got Paramount, but they can also, I'm sure, do pay-per-view events if they want to. It's how they create a self-sustaining model that's the key. They can put loads of money into it right now, but will it be self-sustaining? I think they've worked out that Oleksandr Usyk and Deontay Wilder probably doesn't make 60 million, which is what they needed it to make it a going concern. So yeah, Eddie's the one that's taking it head on, a bit like Mauricio Solomon is the one that's taking it head on for the WBC and the sanctioning bodies. Probably like me, you're talking to him later on. I am. He's asked for time today to have a chat about things. That'll be fascinating. But, you know, there are certain people who perhaps feel they're the biggest names in the sport, or the biggest promoters, or the biggest sanctioning bodies, are perhaps feeling that they need to fight their own corner right now. And I think that's what we're seeing. But I think we will see shifts. We will see different moves, and money speaks in boxing, and it always will do. And money speaks, big broadcast deals. Who's got the most money? Who's got the biggest broadcast deal? Right now, you've got to say it's Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White. They will make things happen.
Will we see, in your opinion, a reduction in Riyadh season events promoted by the likes of Eddie and whoever else if Turkey's more aligned with Dana White? Or do you think those will continue? As you say, money speaks in this sport. So how do you see that going?
Um, I think within 12 to 15 months, I think Zuffa Boxing will be as big as any other promoter in the sport. Easily. Because I think we've seen the shift in strategy. We've seen I've already used this expression. Yesterday I was lying to you, today I'm telling you the truth. And I don't mean that in any disingenuous way towards the promoters, but people are averse to change. People say, oh, you said this last week. Well, you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change your opinion. You're allowed to go in a different direction. And you're definitely going to do it if it works for you. And that's what they are going to do. It never made sense to me that Turki Al-Sheikh left the brilliance he'd done with the heavyweight division around boxing in the last 2 years to do a deal with Dana White where they were just going to build from the bottom up. It takes too long. You can't do that. 25 years it took the US. Well, no, actually, it took them probably 6 or 7 years, 50 million in the hole to get somewhere. And in the end, they had their breaking wave and they surfed it. And obviously now they're kind of a giant juggernaut of a business. Where Dana White's a very powerful and as big a figure as any fighter and always will be, much as Don King and Bob Arum and maybe even Frank Warren and now Eddie Hearn are in their business. So I think it will depend on the success in America of how their big names perform. Like I'm talking about that self-fulfilling, self-sustaining prophecy. Because if it doesn't work, they'll find another way of doing it. They will go back to pay-per-view if they have to, but they've got this umbrella of Paramount right now, and they've got this big deal that was in place that allows them time to build. So as I say to everyone, watch it with close interest. Don't expect them to make Machiavellian moves the whole time and to make it work, whatever they need to do.
Want to come on to Chisora Wilder? Seems like that's on the verge of being done, although Frank Warren has come out and said he has a contract with Chisora. He didn't go into too much detail, but what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think they need to do a lot of selling to make Chisora versus Wilder a box office success, if it is to be on Sky Box Office. I like the KSI Misfits Pro element to it. That helps to sell it.
I don't believe it's on the
They
Misfits
are,
Pro.
sorry?
I mean, I don't know if you're hearing different, but from what I'm hearing, it's not a Misfits Pro.
Oh, it's not Misfits Pro. Okay.
You might be
I
hearing
had
something different.
I'd read that somewhere over the weekend. But if it's the Zauerlands, if it's Sky Box Office, they need to really sell the event. They really need to work on it. Might need a dust up on the cobbles between Wilder and Chisora to generate some interest. They're very good at doing that anyway. They're both popular kind of cult figures anyway in the sport. So it can work. I prefer this fight to Usyk and Wilder. I preferred Wardley and Chisora, if I'm brutally honest, Fabio Wardley and Chisora, which offered Derek an opportunity to potentially win the WBO title in his last fight. I think Fabio would have won that. Because, again, it wouldn't surprise me to see Fabio fighting Usyk or Fabio fighting Tyson Fury this year. But I do like the fight. Obviously, they need to iron out the wrinkles with Frank Warren and Derek Chisora, but they're big grown-ups in this sport, and I'm sure they'll find a way.
Who do you think Usyk will fight now?
Well, there's talk about Andy Ruiz in the background. I don't really like that fight that much. Obviously, Ruiz brings the Hispanic market, but 3 fights in 7 years. Didn't think he looked that great against Jarrell Miller. I know he's gone through several transmogrifications in terms of losing weight and getting back into shape and all those kind of things since the 2 fights with Anthony Joshua. The business may not work for Oleksandr Usyk in America. They need to find the right opponent for that. They might springboard another fighter into facing one of the young up and coming names. You never know. But it wouldn't surprise me if they can't work that out to find Usyk. He's a free marketeer right now to come back and fight someone in Europe. I think him against Fabio Wardley is a massive fight right now. And, you know, he regains all the belts if he does it. We may end up seeing that fight take place, in my view. Because if Usyk fights Wardley in the UK, they can go to a stadium with that. And I'm not talking Portman Road necessarily. I'm talking double that. Maybe Tottenham or maybe even Wembley.
Mm. And yeah, he could become undisputed again. So we will see. Last topic, Tyson Fury, of course. We have to always mention him because he is doing his rounds. He's still training hard in Thailand. Your old mate Carl Froch put out a video saying he feels this comeback is a bit pointless and that he thinks that Fury should stay in retirement. He should achieved a lot. What's your thoughts?
What, Carl Froch you were saying? Sorry, I missed that. It just glitched. What, my current mate, not my old mate, my current mate, Carl Froch, the biggest troll, the troll king in boxing. Although he's been a little bit quiet the last couple of weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, he just put out a video. I think it was yesterday about on his channel about Fury coming back.
Look, Carl didn't do that, and he walked away with all his faculties intact. And I don't think we're going to see Carl fight again. I think there was that talk about the Darren Till fight. I'm not sure that's worked out. It's gone a little bit quiet on that front. And I'm pleased about that. I don't think Carl should be coming back right now and testing himself against these guys. I think he would have broken Jake Paul's jaw as well, by the way. But no, I think he's wrong. I think Tyson Fury, look at the appetite, Fury, look at the happiness he's got right now. Look at him in a gi doing Kempo karate, which I think has been quite funny in the last few days. No, I think Fury back Warm-up fight in April, Arslanbek Makhmudov or whoever in those four other names they're juggling that they'll announce in the next fortnight, I'm told. Maybe Fabio Wardley in the summer. Maybe he gets the WBO title back. Maybe he loses to Fabio. Anything could happen in that fight. And then the big one that I keep saying, I just have this sign, just this signal in myself that given what happened in December, if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury do fight, I think it'll be on a giant streaming platform like Netflix. I just think it's going to be enormous and will create literally maybe not as many numbers as Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, but maybe over 50 million views on there, viewers on there on Netflix. It's just that I think will be the last fight for Tyson Fury will be Anthony Joshua, notwithstanding Joshua making a decision to come back.
Quick predictions for the weekend. Kelly and the big one in New York. What do you think?
I'm voting with my head, not my heart, because I'd love to see Josh Kelly win the world title at 154 pounds, but I think Murtazaliev late stoppage. But Josh really needs to get ahead in the rounds by the middle of the fight. I just think Murtazaliev, 23 wins, 17 knockouts. I've seen him live. He's so dangerous. And I think in New York, even though I can see either man winning, and I think it's 52-48 in favour of Teo, because I think he hits harder and he is a genius against southpaws. Look what he did against Josh Taylor and Vasyl Lomachenko. Don't discount out those two performances. I'm still going for Shakur on a razor-tight controversial points decision, maybe split points decision, and they'll need to go again, maybe two more times. I'm going Shakur on points, but if Shakur is amazing and wins all hands down and wins very convincingly, 9 rounds to 3, 8 rounds to 4, very convincingly, he needs to be in the top pound for pound argument with Naoya Inoue and Oleksandr Usyk. But it wouldn't surprise me if Teo won as well. And that it's just a weight division too far, and a guy with a skill set and a power and a genius himself and amazing footwork too far. So, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and go for Shakur on points.
That's an interesting point that you made about, him against Southpaw, especially that Taylor fight. We were both there.
Yeah,
I remember, and he was unbelievable that night, wasn't he?
yeah. But he was arguably the Vasyl Lomachenko victory
Yeah.
is an even better performance. And when you think about it, Shakur's, I know he's matured, and he's probably his best weight is probably lightweight. You could argue it's super featherweight. Who would have won out of Vasyl Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson in their prime at super featherweight, for example?
Man, I probably would edge towards Loma, but with not much confidence.
A lot of people have done when I've spoken to them about it.
Yeah.
And so when you make those comparisons, when you think about Teo and what he's capable of and what he's done, I get why a lot of people like Duke McKenzie and others are picking Teo. I think Adi Oladipo is my colleague at TalkSport is picking him as well. But again, I have such deep faith in the skill set. Boxer beats a puncher. It depends if Teo is a pure boxer in this fight, but with spiteful punches, he probably wins it. But as I say, I'm sticking with Shakur Stevenson.
Interesting. Gareth, safe travels to Miami. Have a good week with BKB. How do people watch that if they want to tune in? Is it
It's
just
live on TalkSport. It's live
TalkSport?
on TalkSport's boxing YouTube channel on the night, and it's going to be an amazing event. 3 world titles on the line, and the great Aaron McCallum, great backstory, former bodybuilder who fell into being a drunk, and then his wife got him a bare knuckle fight by surprise, and almost like a surprise birthday present, and he took it. He got beaten up, and he's never looked back since. Great character. Dan Gittins the unbeaten Essex former military man who acts in movies and is writing a movie, an action movie. He was going to be fighting Javon Wright for the BKB World Welterweight crown, but Javon Wright's got an injury that happened a couple of nights ago, so that's off the card. But it's the historic home of bare knuckle. It's a privilege to be asked to, work at both the press conferences going out live on Vice and Telemundo in the United States. I'm doing my interviews in Spanish on Friday, even though I'll be speaking English when I do we're doing the interviews, post-fight interviews on Saturday night. But it's the spiritual home of bare knuckle, or modern bare knuckle, because it's where, all began with Kimbo Slice and Jorge Masvidal. Dada 5000 is there on Saturday night as part of our crew, and he'll be there in the week. So it's always an honour to be invited there to go and do these kind of broadcasts. But I'll be having an eye on everything else as
Is
well.
it Friday or Saturday?
That's on Saturday night, yeah, January the
Okay.
31st, yeah,
So you're gonna have to
in
have two
Miami, in the city.
screens with
Yeah.
Shakur and Tio as well. Or maybe they don't clash.
I'll have a way of monitoring everything, but you can watch everything back these days as well,
Yeah.
so no loss, no loss there.
Well, Gareth, I look forward to getting your reaction to all these fights next week if you're around. And as I say, safe travels to Miami.
Cheers, Jonathan.